$100,000 a year sounds like a lot, but broken down monthly, it's around $8,333 before tax landing in your account. No boss, no alarm, no performance review, just your portfolio doing the work while you live your life. So the real question isn't whether you want that. The real question is, how big does your portfolio actually need to be to produce $100,000 a year in dividends in Australia? And here's what most people don't realize. The answer isn't one number, it's a range. And that range changes dramatically depending on the yield you assume, the tax you pay, whether you're using franking credits properly, and whether you want this income to last 20 or 30 years, not just one good season. Let's start with the simple maths. If you divide your target income by your portfolio's yield, you get the portfolio size you need. So at different dividend yields, here's what the numbers look like to generate $100,000 a year. The current ASX 200 dividend yield is sitting at around 3.3%, which is a full 100 basis points below its 10-year average of 4.3%. At 3.3%, you'd need roughly $3 million invested. At 4%, you need $2.5 million. At 5%, that drops to $2 million. At 5.5%, you're looking at $1.82 million. And if you're targeting a higher yield portfolio at 6%, the number falls to about $1.67 million. The table on screen right now shows you exactly that. But here's the part where most people make a dangerous mistake. They see the higher yield number and they chase it. They think, if 6% gets me to the same place with less money, why wouldn't I just go higher? Because yield is only one side of the equation. The other side is reliability. Both BHP and APA are examples of dividend opportunities on the ASX, but APA has grown its distributions for 20 consecutive years, and that kind of durable income is what separates a real dividend portfolio from a yield trap. If a stock is paying 10%, 12% or more, there's almost always a reason. Either the share price has collapsed because the business is in trouble, or that payout is about to be cut. Chasing the highest number on a yield screen is one of the fastest ways to watch your income disappear. The goal is not the highest yield. The goal is income that can survive bad years. Now, here's where Australia gets genuinely interesting, and why our numbers look different from what you'd see on a US finance channel. Australia's franking credit system means that when a company pays you a dividend and has already paid 30% corporate tax on those profits, that tax is passed to you as a credit. A retiree with taxable income below the $18,200 tax-free threshold who holds ASX shares paying fully franked dividends pays no income tax and can claim a full cash refund of all franking credits received. That changes the maths completely. The ASX 200 has an average grossed-up yield, including franking credits, of approximately 4% to 4.5%. And VHY, one of Australia's most widely held high-yield ETFs, is currently sitting on a trailing yield of around 5.43%, with the most recent distribution carrying 88.6% franking. So while a 4% headline yield might look modest, the after-tax reality for a lower-income retiree holding fully franked shares can be dramatically better. You're not just getting the dividend, you're potentially getting a tax refund on top of it. That is a structural advantage that most dividend investors around the world simply do not have access to. But let's talk about the part nobody wants to say out loud. Tax still matters at $100,000 a year. If you're earning $80,000 in salary and receive a $1,000 fully franked dividend, the effective tax rate on that dividend is approximately 2%. But at the top marginal rate of 47%, including the Medicare levy, you'd owe an additional $170 in tax on the same dividend. What this tells you is that the account structure you use to hold your dividend shares is almost as important as which shares you hold. And this is where superannuation becomes one of the most powerful levers available to Australian investors. Inside super, during the accumulation phase, investment income, including dividends, is taxed at just 15%. Once you move your super into the pension phase and start drawing from it, the transfer balance cap from July 1st, 2026 is $2.1 million. Everything inside that cap, in pension phase, earns zero tax on investment income. Zero. Your dividends, your franking credits, your capital gains, all of it inside that cap is tax-free. That means, for an Australian investor in pension phase, a $2 million super portfolio generating a 5% grossed-up yield produces $100,000 a year and pays essentially no tax on it. That is a genuinely powerful outcome. But what if you're not retirement age yet? What if you want to live off dividends before you can access super? That's where the dual portfolio strategy comes in. Many Australians building toward dividend freedom run two accounts in parallel. One portfolio inside super, growing in a low-tax environment, and one portfolio outside super that they can access before preservation age. The outside super portfolio takes the tax hit, but it gives you the flexibility. The super portfolio gives you the efficiency. Now let's talk about reliability, because this is the section most dividend guides completely skip. Dividends can be cut. They were cut across the board during COVID. They can be cut during a recession, during a commodity price crash, or whenever a bank's regulator decides to tighten payout ratios. A portfolio that's too concentrated in one sector, say heavily in big banks or in mining, carries real income risk in a downturn. The smartest approach is boring, but it works. A broad ASX ETF like A200 has delivered annualized total returns of approximately 9.8% per annum since inception, with its most recent quarterly distribution carrying 85% franking. Combine that with a high-yield ETF like VHY for income, and you've got diversification across hundreds of companies with predictable, franked distributions. And before you flip the switch to living off dividends, you need a cash buffer. 6 to 12 months of living expenses parked in a high-interest account, earning 5% or more right now, means you never have to sell shares in a downturn just to keep the lights on. That buffer is the difference between a dividend strategy that works and one that falls apart at the first market correction. So here's the practical roadmap. Stage 1. Build the first $100,000 invested. That's where the compounding becomes visible. Stage 2. Reinvest every distribution back through a dividend reinvestment plan. Let the snowball build. Stage 3. Diversify between quality ASX ETFs, reliable dividend shares across multiple sectors, and consider some global exposure to reduce your concentration risk. Stage 4. Before you live off the income, build that 6 to 12 month cash buffer. Stage 5. Once you're within a few years of retirement age, use super strategically to move as much as possible into the tax-free pension phase, because right now, up to $2.1 million can sit in a zero-tax environment generating income. Here's the honest answer to the original question. To reliably generate $100,000 a year in dividends in Australia at a sustainable, diversified yield of around 5%, you're looking at a portfolio of approximately $2 million. If you're in pension phase inside super, with a grossed-up yield and no tax, you might get there with less. If you're outside super at a higher marginal rate, you need more. The number isn't fixed. It responds to your structure, your tax position, and the quality of what you own. But the goal is always the same. Income that shows up, income that grows, and income that doesn't disappear the moment something in the market goes wrong. If this video helped you think more clearly about building toward dividend income, hit the like button and subscribe for more straight-talking Aussie finance content. I'll see you in the next one.